Hello and welcome to my video. This video was intended to only be 30 minutes long, however it's gone considerably over that time limit, so it may be 50 minutes. I doubt it'll reach an hour, but we'll see. And it's a simple landscape and everything about it is very simple. I only use one brush and two colours plus white. The colours are Payne's grey and Pthalo blue. And I suppose it would be best described as something like a moonlit landscape. I might even put a moon in it, I'm not sure yet, maybe later. But it's got that sort of bluish tinge to the painting. When this is dry, I will probably add some streaks of bright green to show light catching various parts of the landscape. Not sure yet, but if I do, that won't be for at least 36 hours before I do that, because I've used alkyd as the medium for this, and this alkyd is supposed to dry in 5 hours, and I think by that they mean touch dry. In fact, it won't be dry enough to paint over for until at least 36 hours, I would have thought. So let's get on with it, and I hope you enjoy it, and let me know what you think. Make as many comments as you like. It doesn't matter. If it's too rude, I'll delete you. Okay, bye. Hello, and here we are. Okay, first of all, I'm going to use this stuff. Now let's just make sure you can read it. This is alkyd as opposed to linseed oil. It looks sort of yellow and gloopy and a bit strange, but when you start to push it around with a brush, it liquefies. And it's a fast dryer. Apparently this one is going to dry in 5 hours. We'll see. And so I'm just going to put a gloop of this on my palette. Quite a big gloop, because it's a big board. I mean, this is well, I'll have to figure out the inches. I can never remember what the inches are, but it's 80 centimeters by 60 centimeters. So here we go. Now I'm going to use quite a limited palette, as usual. Phthalo blue, Payne's grey, yellow ochre. That's pretty well it, apart from white later, and that'll be on the clouds. So I'm going to sort of emulate a painting I did quite a few weeks ago now. This is a painting that I'm giving to somebody. I'll just make sure my hands are clean before I pick it up. This is I gave away I think 4 or 5 paintings to various health workers. So this one is going to the delightful Amy in America, who is a health worker. And I'm nervous about sending some of these at the moment because the postal service seems to be chaotic. I've been waiting for something from America now for, I don't know, well over 2 months. And it's in the system, but where it is in the system, I have no idea. So I'm going to do something like this, but bigger. This is on cardboard, by the way. Blob of stuff. So I want to get my darks organised first, so I'm going to have a lot of Payne's grey, a lot of Pthalo blue. I'm really going to do my best to keep out of the way, so excuse me while I just measure my arm lengths against the picture to here, and I know that I can go this far safely before I'm getting in the way. Okay, so I'm going to just put a dark shape along here. There we are, finished. Just kidding. Right, so this is more grey than blue, although it is a very bluish grey, and I'm going to have these will be like I don't know, it'll either be a hill or it'll be low-lying cloud, not really sure. I'll figure it out. And a few dark shapes in it. I'm trying to do this video quite fast because I recently put one up, well, my last video, and it was I don't know, over 1 hour and 45 minutes, something. I mean, a long video. took 19 hours to upload. Now, whether that's because I'm in rural France, I'm not sure, but that was a long time. And the software that I use to edit my videos allegedly has a built-in thing, I don't know what you call it, is it an encoder? I don't know, which is supposed to make videos upload faster. Well, that failed abysmally. I mean, I'll keep using the software because it's actually really easy to use, and it's actually quite fun to use too. It's like, you know, it's all predictable, and if you've got a designer's mind, this is just one of my crazy theories. If you have a designer or artistic mind, you're not necessarily good with numbers, and I am not necessarily good with numbers, frankly. Certain things just don't work for me. I can handle, I like that. I can handle learning new software for my book design work, which I had to do a few years ago, because the company that I'm actually self-employed, but the company I work for wanted to change to a particular type of software for the book design, so I had to adapt and comply. Where are we? Just having a little think here. I have a nice bit of dark there, I think. Okay, let's just have a shape. I'm after, as usual, you know, this place doesn't really exist anywhere, as you will hopefully know by now. I just sort of let rip on it and see what happens. So yeah, anyway, back to the software. Yeah, it's actually quite good fun to work with, and you'll notice, will have noticed on the intro to this, I'm sitting in a room somewhere, a very smart room, with an interesting view outside the window. And of course I'm not really there. I have a green screen, which is great fun. You just sit in front of the screen. I'm going to attempt to turn the camera without making you feel sick. And then hopefully get the camera back in the same position again. So if you look over there, there's my green screen. So I just sit in front of that when I'm talking to you, and let me just make sure the camera's fixed back here. And because it's a green background, you can drop in any kind of image where there is green, because not many people would wear green like that. Not that I can think of anyway. And if they did, would they go out in public? So yeah, anyway, I find the technology quite fun. Okay, paper on there. Oh yeah, while I'm thinking about it, I was talking about the post. I have a lot of paintings that I should have sent out by now, and it's because of the postal situation that I am delayed on this. I don't want to launch any of my paintings off into the wilderness with the thought that they may never get there, or they may not get to the rightful owner. Who knows what's going on? So I'm hanging on to them at the moment, and all the people who are getting paintings, I think I've told you all this. I probably sent you a message on Facebook, but you will get the painting eventually. Just not until I feel that it is safe to send it. Okay. Now this painting, of course, is for playing with skies as usual. I love skies. It doesn't matter, you know, wherever you look up, there's a sky. Bring that down a bit, I think. There's always a sky there, and people wander around in this life, and mostly they're looking down, either at their feet or at their phone. Take a break every now and then, do your neck a favour, and look up. because you're missing out on a lot of very nice skies. And of course, if you can't be bothered to look up, just look at my paintings. I'll record them for you and then see what's the so it saves you the trouble. Okay, so I'm going to have a nice bit of dark foreground there. Doesn't matter what I put on it, just I'm really after just shapes. I'll do the fine tuning in a minute. This is the this is a great way if you've never painted before, which means that you will be nervous. Frankly, you'll be nervous of making a mark. It's a standard thing with people when they're beginning. They don't want to make a mistake, so they hold back. Well, they're reluctant to put a shape on the board or paper because they don't want it to go wrong. Nobody wants anything to go wrong. However, you have to live with this. Things will go wrong, but it depends on your view of wrong. You see, it may not be so wrong you have to give up painting. It could be just wrong enough to make you think about how you're going to put the next mark down. I have a feeling that makes no sense. Anyway, let's see. Let's just put some basic liquid in here so that I can work on it later. I'm just after, as you know, just shapes. Okay, yes. So now what was I trying to say? Yeah, if you're a beginner and you're afraid of making a mark on a board because you don't want to screw it up, frankly, you've got to get that out of your head. Just got to forget about it. You know, it's only a piece of board. If this went wrong, all I'd do is just all over it, just completely erase it. And I got used to the idea of doing that when I was very young, so it's sort of with me all the time now. I don't really care. If it goes wrong, well, I've got plenty of boards, I've got plenty of this stuff, and I'll just start again. I'm going to just put a bit more liquid in there. And down here, it looks as though I'm obliterating some of these shapes here a little bit, but that's okay, doesn't matter. There we are. That's the landscape, almost to the point where I might even leave it actually. I might just sort of just finish off these, get rid of these light bits here. I mean, it looks like a giant molehill there, but doesn't it? But I'll turn it into something else. You can turn thing like a hump. You have a hump on a painting like this. You can turn it into something really quickly just with a few swipes of your kitchen paper or paper towel. I have to remember to call it paper towel. So what I want to do is make this have a bit more presence. Now I'm looking in the camera and it's got a little bit, but I want a bit of light there. I love this effect. And then when you put a bit of light the other side, suddenly you can go behind that object. This here now invites you to see that. So in other words, your brain is saying, well, this and this are connected and that's in the way. That's one of the first stages to getting depth in your painting. Let your brain do it for you. Okay, I could do the same. I could do a similar, well, not the same. I'm going to do a similar thing over here. I quite like this shape. I will zoom in on this. There's a little bit of light next to this dark here. So always remember, dark light, dark light. It works, trust me. So I'm going to just enhance that little bit of light there. Well, I'm either going to enhance that little bit of light there or I'm going to completely ruin it. And I went for ruining it because I ruined it, and I'm just going to fix it. So that's what I wanted. A little bit more of a twinkle there. Now the edge of that doesn't look tree-like. However, if I get the corner of my brush and I just put a shape more like that there, instead of it looking like a scoop into something here, this now here looks like a tree shape against a light patch. And I'll be working on that a little bit more as we progress through the painting. There's another one here, so I'm going to just darken the edge of that, put a little bit more paint on. Here's one way. When you put paint on a board, if you put paint down quickly like that, it's not actually putting a lot of paint down. If you slow down and push it, and sort of lay it on the painting, you get a much darker shape. And of course I don't want that there at the moment. So here's another lesson in recovery. Every time I wipe something out, I never completely eradicate it. I look at it and I think, are there some nice tones and shapes in here? Usually there are. So what you do is you don't eradicate everything. Here, you see, just check my arm. Yep. Here, there's quite a lot of paint, so I'm just going to spread around a little bit now. Some of these shapes that you get in here are actually quite nice. You could do a few lines like that. That'll imply wind and rain and all that sort of stuff. Did I mention my paintings aren't necessarily covered in happy little trees and happy little clouds? I can't really do that. I have to have the drama. Okay, so I'm gonna. What do I do here? I mean, I like some of these light bits that are left. It's quite nice. This could be like a moonlit evening type painting. I can stop that knocking. So I think start working on it with a bit more paper. So here, now this is quite interesting. Wow, depends what you find interesting. Now you may not be able to see it. If not, I'll zoom in. Along there's like a pale line. Now it's obviously because of the paper. The paper has done that and dragged into the paint, like so. You may be able to see some lines down there from it. Possibly not, but anyway, that's what it's from. And I quite like it. If I didn't like it, rather than take it off and ruin some of these interesting shapes, all I'd do is just get the corner of the brush with a little bit of dark on it and just break the line every now and then, just so that it looks sort of detailed without there being detail. So where should we go from here? I think this I'm going to do a lot of zooming in, so this will hopefully will come clear. These lines here, this is just the brush going like so, and it's put some interesting lines across a field there. So don't be in a hurry to get rid of things like that. They can actually enhance a painting. Here's a line of trees, pale bit behind it, which is a field, and then there's another lump of trees here. Oh, something I should mention. Don't do lots of islands of trees. Okay, that's not realistic. You tend not to get that. Think in terms of sweeping shapes. If you want to get the feeling of size, of a really big sort of vista in your painting, you need sweeping, long shapes. You also need to connect things like here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Well, you know as much as I do. No, this field here that I mentioned with these lines, it's okay. I'm still not totally sold on it, but I might keep it for now. But to the right of it, just check position of my arm, there's a light area here. So what I might do is just put a bit more light in there, just to open it up a little bit. And then, what else should we do? I'm going to try and get some lines going this way. So we've got sweeping lines going that way, left and right, but there's no reason why you couldn't do. It's suddenly gone dark in here. That's not a good sign. You get a thunderstorm over here. You have to unplug everything. It's well, probably where you are too. It's much safer than frying your computer. Okay, so okay, I'll keep going. So here I've got lines going this way. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go over them very loosely like so, just to straighten them out a bit. And I'm going to choose an area here and drag that way. Because I think it will add to the picture. Let's have it coming right down across there. So we've got this great big field here that's been ploughed. Or it's had something done to it anyway. I think we'll bring it across like so. Yeah, like that. Good. Right, now the landscape is not going to have a lot done to it now. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible because I want to get, as I said, I think, I want to get this video down in time to a more manageable length. And the only way I'm going to do that is to get a move on. So let's just make that look a bit more interesting. I'll be working in there in a minute, just to sort of have some kind of focal point down here. What I'm trying to do is get people to look here, here and here. That's my plan. It's a sort of triangular, almost circular composition. Don't really care what happens over there. Some of these light bits down here could probably go. Let's just get rid of them. I hope you can hear me, by the way. I had people on my last video saying, oh, I can't hear you, the sound's bad. Well, I think a lot of it depends on what you're listening on. If you're listening on a phone and you're not using earbuds, it's not going to be good. I think most videos, regardless of whether it's from me or somebody else, are better on a laptop with nice, good speakers. Because I do have the volume up as high as I can realistically go, and a little bit more light there. I think. Just take that right across there. So if you can't hear it, maybe have a look, see what equipment you're using. Well, you'll know what you're using. That's a silly comment. Bit of light there, I think. Yeah, just a quick swipe. This is definitely an evening shot. Okay, so here, before I get on the sky, I want to just sort of give that a little bit of interest. I don't want detail, obviously, because it's all about the illusion of detail. So I'm just going to sort of put a little bit of texture in a few places on this, just to give it a little bit of form, so it's not quite so flat, and keep the paper rolling around so that you don't repeat the texture the same, because it'll look strange. Yeah, a little bit more light just below that. I think that probably looks bushy enough. Okay. The video I do after this one, which won't be for a couple of weeks, so many people ask me various questions. Can I paint rocks? Well, yeah, I can paint rocks. You have to think of rocks as not rock. Don't think, oh, I'm now painting rock. Think of rock as just shapes. It's like clouds. I mean, at the moment, this doesn't particularly look like clouds, does it? So at this stage, I'm not after painting clouds. I'm after a feeling of clouds, shape generally of, mass shapes, so that I'm looking for structure, but not cloud. I'm looking for a shape that does certain things. So I've been doing this long enough to know that this will be a cloud and a sky. So I'm not, it's quite difficult to explain this. I'm not thinking of clouds at the moment. I'm thinking of shapes that later I could possibly give the illusion of a sky with some interesting clouds. That sounds like a complete load of gibberish, doesn't it? But the more you paint, the more you'll understand, I think. Well, I hope so anyway. Otherwise I'm going to sound like a complete nitwit. Don't paint your subjects, paint your feelings. That's what I'm probably trying to say. Okay, so this let's just go on to this alkyd stuff. Yummy smell. I don't know why. It reminds me of my early days at school. Maybe there's something in this that they used in a glue, maybe, that we were using. Definitely brings back memories. Memories of how I can escape school. wasn't the most fun place. Anyway, that's a whole new can of worms. Okay, so lots and lots of this stuff. As you can see, it's gradually going down. I'll probably get, I don't know, another 4, maybe 6 paintings out of that bottle. Okay, so this is mostly gel here now. Not a lot of paint in this area. Just want to get some tone. A bit more paint there, I think. Just get some tone on the board. Remember what I said? I'm not painting clouds. I'm painting dramatic shapes. Well, I hope they're dramatic anyway. Okay, let's have a look at the camera because that tells me all kinds of stuff. It's interesting when you're painting a picture like this. When you're just looking at the picture, you see it differently after a while. People get into this weird hypnotic state where when it starts to go right, everything seems right. What you need to do, if you're checking perspective, for instance, is turn it upside down. If it still looks as though this is further away than that, then you're okay. The other thing is hold a mirror so that you see a reflection of the painting and you can tell if the balance is right in the reflection. And the other way, the way I prefer, is the camera, because I can see in the viewfinder on the camera what the painting looks like from about 20 feet away. It's also good to take breaks. Definitely take breaks. Paint for maybe 10 minutes. If you're a beginner, it depends on your level of expertise. If you're a beginner, paint for about 10 or 15 minutes. Don't just get your head down and stay like that, because it just won't help you. You've got to take breaks so that you come back with fresh eyes. And I've got to figure out how to stop that noise. So let's see what we can do. Slightly better. Okay, so I want some nice dark down here. That's coming along quite nicely. I think, what do I do here? Don't want a great big mass of just one flat colour here. I know it looks a little light and dark here, but I want to make that more obvious, because I don't want like a quarter of the painting to be like 1, 2, you know, that sort of effect. I want something in this just to break it a bit, so I'm going to put some dark there. I'll be going over this in a few seconds with one of my really big brushes to smooth out a lot of the brush marks, and then I'll show you how I get the actual white cloud in there. So let's get some nice dark bits there, possibly one coming up here. Clouds off the edge, as I always say, it's very important. Don't make them fit the painting, they have to go off the edge. Okay. Big brush. Where did I put it? Okay, big brush. Somebody has asked me recently on a video, possibly the last video, what kind of brush is it? It's cheap. It's a hardware brush, hardware store-bought brush. It's not very thick. It's 15 centimeters wide. Again, I have no idea what that is in inches, but it looks like, I don't know. It is not a soft brush. If you can get the feel of what I'm doing here, it's quite rigid, but that doesn't matter because it's not down to the softness of the bristle. It's down to the angle that you let the brush touch the painting, which is like so. Not like that, but like that. You're using the sides. The only time you'll use the corner is if you have a dark spot that you want to break up. You just mash it around a bit and then go over it with the side. So I'm going to just smooth this all down a bit. I'm going to leave the landscape. I'm just on the sky here at the moment. So let's just... Okay, hardly any touches with the brush. Whoops, I don't know, I think I probably did about 6 sweeps of the brush maybe. Quick wipe, because I'm not wanting to spread the paint. I'm just wanting to soften it a bit, so I don't want to pick up the paint and put it somewhere else. So if I do that there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, wipe, 1, 2, 3, oh, and there's a hair. Okay, let's get that absolute swine. There we are. Okay, so keep wiping it. Another question I've been asked quite a lot is, what do I do with all the oily rags that I have? Well, they're disposed of properly. I am aware of spontaneous combustion, but and I know it can happen. However, it's never happened to me. And funnily enough, years and years ago, when I left college, before I actually got into graphic design, as it was called then. Maybe they still call it graphic design, I don't know, but I was a firefighter for just over a year, probably about 14 months. I never encountered spontaneous combustion once. But that doesn't mean to say it can't happen. So when you have oily rags, keep them in a metal container, preferably outside your studio, just in case. Just get rid of that hair. There's always a hair that just wants to be part of your masterpiece. Okay, so I'm going to start adding some white to this in a minute. This light here, obviously, I hope it's obvious, that's the horizon line, so the sky is above that line. I might increase that effect, I'm not sure, don't know yet, we'll see. I want it to be obvious where the horizon line is. This is quite difficult to explain. I want it obvious but not too obvious, but I don't want there to be any doubt. Yeah, figure that one out. I'll try and figure it out as well while I'm painting. But I guess that's just something that you will get into your picture subtly to get over the feeling that you want to give. I think of what I might do, you know. I've got low cloud hitting the landscape here almost. I think I should probably lighten the landscape, maybe, just a little bit. Okay, let's check I'm not in the way too much. So I think maybe a little bit of light coming down there. That might work. Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. A little bit of... Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out the knocking on this easel. That's going to drive everybody completely nuts. Although that may be for another video. If you can bear it, I can bear it. Okay, I'm just going to put a few shapes in here now. that start to resemble cloud. Once I've got them in the sort of shape that I want them, then I'll start to add a little bit of white paint. And for that I'll use a palette knife, as usual for me, and the big brush again, just to do some blending. So I'm going to take that one right off the top there. And I think it needs some lines here. I know I've been taking lines off, but that's this is part of the technique. I want some to be there because I just like this windy effect. There's a very good artist. I should mention this. I bought a painting from him. You may know of him actually. He likes big sweepy landscapes as well as I do. His name's James Norton. He's a very good artist. And he I don't know what it is, but we both seem to like this sort of stuff. And I find it quite difficult when I look at his stuff, because it is so stunning. Sometimes I have to sort of try and forget his stuff when I'm painting. I don't want to copy him. Our work in a way is similar, although he uses more colour than I do. I tend to be more monotone, I think. Anyway, he's a very nice guy, and I'm going to put a link in the box below so that you can see some of his work. It's absolutely, I think it's stunning. James Norton. If you look for him on the internet, you'll come up with an actor called James Norton. So just put in James Norton artist, you'll find him. But as I said, I'll give you the link anyway. Now then, what else am I going to do here? How long have I been going? I'm trying to tell by looking at my viewfinder. I don't know. Anyway, this is all going to be in one take. I'm not, any cuts in the film are just me walking around the thing, or me being away from the camera to look for stuff for too long, because I want you to know that this is done in one sitting, and if I can do it, you can do it. I'm using the corner now because I want to actually push the paint a little bit. Okay, so this I'm finding a little dark, so if I just do that and then wipe it and then sweep over it, you see I can tone it down a bit. And I think it's almost time for me to introduce some white. Okay, I'm using this corner here. The thing is not to over smooth. The painting can look quite nice with brush marks. Sort of adds to it, I think. Right. So I'm going to keep talking while I get some white. And oh yeah, a lot of people say, oh, what about all the mess with oil paint? Well, you know, I've done this, and I've got a tiny little bit of blue on my hands, you know, and I'm not using turpentine. Anyone who watches my videos knows exactly. Whoops! Oh, have I unplugged my microphone? No. Everyone should know by now that I don't use turpentine. And the other thing I don't use sometimes is my memory. Like, where did I put the white? Oh, here it is. Right, okay. So, titanium white. Won't need much. Just a lump the size of the average slug. And in case you haven't seen an average slug, I'll show it to you in a second. Not the slug, I don't have any slugs in here, but that's what I mean by an average slug. Quite a hefty helping of white. And the palette knife. Now, it doesn't matter what you use really. you can get them with all kinds of fancy shapes. It's totally irrelevant. I think they're mostly used for people who are painting architecture. This sort of thing is just really for putting the paint on and also using the edge here as a straight edge to make lines by moving your hand left and right. That's all. Simple as that. So you can use any shape for this, and I'm not mixing anything with the paint. It's just straight from the tube, and it's just going to go straight on this. Okay, so my main sort of thrust. I've got some light clouds here, so I think I will definitely keep them. Let's just have a little bit of white there. And don't forget, clouds are unpredictable. You can design your clouds if you want, you know, the way certain artists do, so that they're all sort of perfect, bumpy, round-edged clouds, or you can go for the sort of slightly more, I think, personally, lifelike randomness that you get in a sky, and that is just let your hand go anywhere. Just don't worry about, oh, I like this shape here, you know. Just sort of get the paint on there and make shapes. I mean, I know that I want light coming down there, that's all. I know nothing else. There will be a little bit of light over on the spit here, so let's just put a little bit on there ready. Okay, so once you've spread it out, wipe your palette knife, get some more paint on it. So I can tell looking at this, well, there's obviously light coming from somewhere. Light does bounce around. You could have the sun here, and you could have dark land here, because it depends what's between there and there. You might have a full sun here, but a cloud here could be not protecting, shading what is down there. So this could be dark. So don't get too bogged down on that. It's actually not important. What you're looking for, well, if you're painting my style of painting, I'm not after accuracy. That will come automatically as you paint more. You'll get more sort of realism in your paintings the more you paint. So like I always say, it's visual poetry. It's all about what's going on in your head, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit there. Because I want this dark cloud here to appear to be in front of that later. It may not, but I hope so. And then I'm thinking, a little bit of, just a little bit. Am I in the way? Let me just check. Yeah, a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit of light along the horizon. There. Probably enough. Might do more in a minute, but first of all, that's got the white on there. I might add other colours to the white, I'm not sure yet. I might add them on this painting, or I might wait until it's dry and add them as a glaze, which is one of my favourite ways of painting because it gives you so much flexibility. So next thing I'm going to do is make these, I hope, look like clouds very quickly. We'll see. It is a little bit like magic. I'm not spending too much time on one spot because I really don't want to overdo this. I would rather have too much contrast at the moment than not enough. That saves you an awful lot of fiddling around later. Apologies for my voice today, it's a little bit strained. Not sure why. Could be because I talk too much. Okay, so a little bit more paint off. Now here, it's quite a dark line there. I wonder what would happen. A lot of my paintings are filled with this. You don't hear me say it, but my mind is continually saying, I wonder what would happen if, and I wonder what would happen if this or that or that. So I'm continually thinking, what will happen? Could I do this? Will it ruin the painting? I don't think so. I think it looks like it might be raining on that particular spot. Yeah, maybe. Trying to get my voice to work properly. Okay. Over here. Now I'm going to drag some of this. There's quite a lot of paint now. I'm just going to drag some of that over here. Or am I? Yes, I am. Just a bit. There we go. Try and get the feeling of wind blowing across the painting. Okay. A little bit there. A bit that way. Okay. Sort of pleased. Not too shabby. I think that may be it on this one. When I do go back to it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add brown to the sky. Now, because this painting has gone so fast and it will dry very quickly, I should be able to get the next video uploaded in less than a week, I hope. Can't promise it because you never know. You never know what life is going to throw at you, do you? So I'll let this dry. As soon as it's ready, I'll show you what I do with the brown. And the brown that I will be adding, so you've got it ready to follow on, if you're following along with me, will be red ochre. And it's basic. Well, I'm sure you all know what red ochre looks like. I mean, there's a tube. It's a sort of muddy reddish brown colour. And I'll just show you if I can open the tube. Occasionally you get one you can't open. There you go. It's that colour. So there we are. And you wouldn't think that you could actually add this to that sky and make it look like something, but I'll show you in the next video. So, as usual, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's a very blue painting, but it won't end up quite so blue. If you want to come here for lessons when we all go back to normal, if we ever go back to normal, you can contact me through my website. The link will be in the description below. You can contact me on Facebook or even Instagram. All the links will be there. I have a Patreon page if you want to send me money so that I can go on luxury holidays. Thank you very much, but I won't be doing that. I'll be using the money to buy these and paint and food for my cat. And I think that's it really. So have a nice day wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now. Should we have another go? Yeah, why not? Hello and welcome to my video. I'm going to keep this brief because this is take number 27, I think. So yes, the landscape that I'm doing is based on a painting. I think I've already said this. Start again. I need a teleprompter. Someone send me a teleprompter. Hello and welcome to my video. This video here we go again. What's the matter with my voice today? My voice is going. I had red ochre on it. Take 700 and something. Hello and welcome to my video. This one I intended to only last for half an hour. However, it's gone considerably over the half-hour mark, so if you can bear it, stay with me. It's not difficult, Stuart. Maybe the lighting's crap. Is that going to work? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if I move that way a bit. Okay, let's try again. As quickly as possible. Now, you're capable of doing this. You may think you're not, but if you follow what I'm doing exactly and lose any inhibitions you have about paint, you'll find that you can do this. It's not that difficult. That sounds highly patronizing, I know, but it's not meant to sound that way. You can do it, you just have to believe it. So maybe that'll be cut out, but anyway, if it isn't, you're pausing too long. Take God knows what. So bear that in mind. I'm not copying, I'm just showing off. Anyway, I hope I'm not, but maybe I am. Sometimes I think I do. Oh God, this is ridiculous. Too long, keep it short. Something. And smile. Smile with your eyes. Is that good? Good. Hair suitably dishevelled. Hello and welcome to my video. This painting in... okay. Hello and welcome to my video. Well, that didn't last long. Coming back? Hey. Hey. Come back. Come back. My voice is fading. Come back, voice. Start again. Okay, start again. Are you going to come and sit on my lap? Wait. Pussycat. She's not going to. Pussy. Hey. Can't just sit there cleaning yourself. Get on this chair. Get on the chair. Get on this chair. Okay, now come across here. Come across here. Hey, kitty cat. There's good. Okay. Yes, it wobbles, doesn't it? There you go. Get on my lap. On the lap. This is a lap. It's for the cats. It's a cat lap. Come on here. Okay. She's not going to. Okay. This is cat food, by the way. It's not mine. Bribery doesn't always work with cats. You're a good girl. Okay. Right. So either be there or on my lap. Don't wobble the chair because it makes a noise. There's a good girl. Okay. Let's try again. I'm worried about that bit of light there. The thing about a green screen is you don't want any hot spots. And that's a hot spot. I might not be able to get rid of it. That lighting is not going to work. I should shave. Yeah, scruffy.